All right, guys, the wagon is back. You seen it in the last video where we're trying to get ready to drive across country and probably a 2,500 to 3,000 mile road trip. We have a monstrous list of things to get done. Last video, we were held up by waiting on a lot of parts. Well, in this video, a lot of parts come in. We're going to do things like we got another intake, we got a dress-up kit, valve covers, and we've got we're going to experiment with something I've never tried before, dyeing the interior with a spray can dye. Stay tuned for that. That's in this video, and you just want to see it. Plus much, much more. Hang in there. It's a good video, and it's full of wins and not so much wins. So we'll get into it right after the intro.
I'd say it's a nut job.
Okay, as you know, we were waiting on a bunch of parts to come in for the wagon. This has snowballed into an epic thing that it should never have become, but it's because I fall into that deep well that a lot of us fall into. It's called the might as. You know, might as well. Might as well while I'm here. Might as well while I'm here. Let me show you the load of parts that came in today, and I'll show you what we got and what we're doing, and we're going to just jump into work after that, and the rest of the parts should be rolling in as we work. Big stuff, little stuff, it all adds up. One of the things that I needed, because I robbed it off of this for the Galaxy, and I'll explain that at some point in time, but we needed another throttle bracket to run our cable through, and it just so happens our friends at Elderbrock make one. I'll be 100% honest. I didn't know this was an Elderbrock bracket till after I got my hands on it. I'm not even going to lie about it. It was just purely coincidental. This is actually designed for a throttle body, but it works for what I'm doing. And and if you're interested in one, I didn't even notice that just now. Right here's the part number. It's Elderbrock, part number 38-3927. This bracket, and it comes with multiple attachments in a bag here where you can hook throttle cables or kick down cables or whatever you may need. You can bolt it all onto this. Cut to fit plug wires because I'm going to try to run them nice and neat. These, again, from our friends at Elderbrock. These I did know I was getting from Elderbrock. These are 8.5 millimeter wires. So these should be some pretty good wires. These are the Max Fire Ultra Spark. These are part number 22701 if you're interested in it. Now, you all seen our air cleaner that we had on there. This really cool air cleaner here that has the button in the center. It makes it all a smooth finish. It's an absolute beautiful piece, and it's probably the highlight of the engine. But again, that might as well. And I'm telling you, might is deep. But I jumped down that might as well, and I ordered a set of valve covers from our friends at Elderbrock. I haven't even taken these out of the box yet. Let's take them out of the box right here. Let's take one of them out of the box. They match the air cleaner. Is that not beautiful? That's really going to dress that engine up a little bit. If you are interested in these valve covers, they are Elderbrock valve covers, the Elite 2 series, part number 4264. These fit the 302 or the 351 Windsor. If you don't know, Summit has little scratch and dent areas or little, I don't know what they call it, discount. They have a discount area where they will put stuff over there that is discounted for various reasons. Maybe somebody ordered it and didn't pick it up. Maybe it was a display item, whatever the case may be. In the scratch and dent area was these wheels. These are steel wheels, kind of like the old reverse chrome steel wheel, but they have a center cap with them. And I think the light catches right. You'll see there's a little ding right there in the center cap. She loves these wheels. She's seen them. She fell in love with them. Those are the wheels she wants on her wagon. She absolutely loves them. These wheels are supposed to be about $200 a pop. I've got a pair of them here. And again, you're talking about a tiny little ding right here. And the light has to catch it right for you to even see it. And I may be able to pop that out. But a tiny little ding in the center cap right there. These are supposed to be $200 a pop. I got these for $60. So, yeah. So she's getting some chrome steelies. These are a Krager wheel, chrome smoothie. I would tell you the part number, but they stuck the page sticker right over the top of that one. But these are some of the items that we picked up. All right, excuse me. All right, let's start the day off with something cool. Yeah, a couple of tires mounted and balanced. Oh, look at that. Can't wait to put these on there and see how they look on the car. Look at that. Now, I know I shouldn't be worried about the shiny stuff right now because there's plenty of work to do on this thing. But sometimes the shiny stuff just gives you motivation. And speaking of shiny stuff, I do have a new intake on the way. Not sure when it's going to get here. I'm going to go ahead and put the new valve covers on as well. And that'll just continue the motivation. You know what I mean? Go ahead and grab the light. Probably has just enough charge to die when I start working. And put right there so I can see what I'm doing. Oh, let's get in here. Pop these off. We also have new plugs and new wires to do a tune-up with. Well, she's good and clean in there. Look at that. Good and clean. Worst part of these valve covers is that somebody has painted them at some point in time. If they were still that nice raw aluminum. I probably wouldn't worry about them. But they'll look good on the wall. And I do have a stud kit. This is a Mr. Gasket part number 6324. He's out. For right now, I'm going to reuse the old gasket. I will put a new gasket on it. But for right now, I'm just going to reuse the old gasket because I figure I'm going to end up taking them off anyway again. So why not? And the reason I say I'm going to end up taking them off again anyway is because I want to put fresh gaskets on this thing. I'm not going to keep these old gaskets on here. Last thing I want to do is be smelling an oil leak for days on end as we travel in this thing. I, for one, am excited about these. I don't know. This is going to sound like an odd statement, but I'm pretty sure it's a true statement. I don't know that I've ever actually owned a brand new set of valve covers before. I'm so into the vintage stuff that I end up buying valve covers off like Marketplace and stuff and having the old vintage valve covers. Oh, look at the precious. These just screw right down inside the valve cover here. Comes with the screws. You can use a screwdriver. I like a nut driver. It's just too easy to round the head off on a screw, so I tend to use the nut driver just to make life a little easier. All right, just like that. No big thing. I slide it on there, see what it looks like. Make sure that clears our rockers now before we worry about anything else. Oh yeah, without any problem. Look at that thing. Lord have mercy on your soul. Look at that. Woo. Now I got me a new set of plug wires that I bought. Also, as you seen, they're cut to fit, so the plug wires now is going to run down and around, so it won't be over the top of that beautiful valve cover. It's the little things, like run the plug wires down around this way and over, then it doesn't cover that valve cover up. Oh man, I can't wait. Look at that. That right there is going to be a nice looking dress up. You know, once I actually clean all this crap up here that needs to be cleaned up and, you know, picture it with a new aluminum intake. But yeah, that's going to be a beauty right there now. Lord have mercy. Look at that. Now, none of the stuff I'm putting on the car right now helps the car run in any way. I mean, I guess wheels and tires do help it run down the road, since it had a 14 on one side and a 15 on the other, and just different mixed-matched wheels and tires. So I guess technically the tires do help. The dress up, not so much. But you can't deny that gives you some motivation right there. Lord. Woo! And even though it seems like there's more important stuff to do, it is getting stuff crossed off the list. And quite honestly, the stuff I'm avoiding, it's not that it's exceedingly terrible work. It's just that I just don't really want to do it right now. I'm kind of like a little kid, and I want to do all the shiny, pretty stuff first. The stuff that actually probably doesn't matter at all. Okay, on the list of stuff, no reason for me to worry about, no reason for me to be concerned about. Look at the bottom of this hood, the underside. That's terrible. And if we're going to spend the time and money to put a dress-up kit, aluminum intake, and all this fancy stuff under here and raise the hood, who wants to see that, right? Now, yes, in the big picture, this does not matter. But here's what's going on right now. I find myself once again waiting on parts. The fuel sending unit for the tank and other pieces I need to put the tank in place won't be here for 2 days. My intake won't be here for another day. So I'm going to paint under the engine bay, under the hood. It'll clean up everything, make it look better. It gives me something to do while I'm waiting on these parts, and it makes the car better while I'm waiting on parts. You know what I mean? So nothing fancy. I'm just going to take some spray paint, spray bomb this, so that when you are somewhere and you raise the hood, it kind of looks like you cared a little bit. And it keeps the project moving forward while I'm waiting on stuff. I don't play around my lungs. I want to use some kind of breathing protection in anything I do, even if I'm grinding a lot of times. You can already see with just a light coat how good this thing is going to look with some paint on the hood and how much it's going to brighten up the engine bay. Okay, you can see from a light coat, maybe a light to medium-ish coat, pretty good coverage. And I'm going to let that tack up for just a minute. And then we'll hit it with another coat and see if we can't make it start looking like something. All right. We have 2 medium coats on the hood now. I'm gonna let this flash off pretty good, start drying out pretty good, and then we'll come back and put one final coat on. But I mean, you gotta admit that right there, you pop the hood and see that right there is a world of difference. Oh yeah. That's pretty good. Gonna make the engine bay look a lot better. It's a lot brighter in there now. Yeah, I like it. So next up on the killing time part here, so our parts come in, is I'm just going to go ahead and take care of the front seats. Now, this car, when I found it, had no front seat in it. I had a car that I was building a race car out of. It came with a pretty nice seat in it, but seat's red. But I put it in here so we can sit in it and drive around. Well, I've looked into several options, and there's really not an affordable option here. The interior on this car is blue, and I looked into having these seats reupholstered. That's just out of the money question. I looked around and tried to find some seats, but it's hard to find a blue seat. I even looked in a truck bench seat for the front of it. This is what I've settled on. We're going to try this. This is a spray dye. I don't know what it'll do. Don't know what it'll look like. Don't know how it'll come out. I figure it's going to be too dark, but it gives me an excuse to get more of it if this works on the seat well and do the dash and the panels and all this stuff with the same thing so it'll all match. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do if you're going to do something like this is clean them really well. I actually have some just rubbing alcohol is what I've got here. Listen, may not be the right thing, may be the wrong thing, I don't know. But we're going to spray this down with rubbing alcohol. Clean these really well. I'm going to lift that up so I can get under it. Let's start in here and find out what happens. I don't know. So I'm going to treat this thing like I was painting a car or something, and let's see what happens. It's definitely way too dark of a blue. Uh, well, maybe. I don't know. If that was cleaned up, that's probably that color, honestly. It's a little dark. But, well, it's better than a red seat, right? Yeah, it's definitely a little dark. Matches the tape. I'm putting new door panels in. Don't worry about that. Well, let that first coat kind of tack up, and I mean, we're not worse off, I don't think. Not sure if I'm trying to convince you or if I'm trying to convince me. I mean, that won't look terrible. It's supposed to have a blue interior, just a different color blue. Well, I just done the greatest thing ever or the dumbest thing ever. One thing would dictate that, if my wife likes it or not. If she likes it, it's a different color blue, so we're going to have to dye every bit of the interior this color blue. And if she likes it, husband of the year, I solved the seat issue for like $4. Where if we'd had them reupholstered, I called and got some quotes as much as $750 to get seat reupholstered now. So, you know, I saved let's just say I saved $750. If if she likes them. If she don't, then one of y'all made the suggestion in the comments, and I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell her. I was just trying to do what the internet told me. You know what I'm saying? So here we are. They're blue. By God, they're blue. Um, they're the wrong color blue. By God, that's blue. Oh my God. I hope she likes that because I don't know what I'm going to do there to fix that if she don't. Um, wow. Honestly, it's not that bad. It looks bluer on film than it actually is. It's not that bad. And if you want a blue interior, I mean, a white car with that color interior, that's not the worst thing in the world. I mean, the more I talk about it, the more I convince myself this was not a bad idea. I will say this about it. Like, the stuff's already dry. Like, it's dry now. It's done. I mean, you can sit in that seat. They're blue. Mm.
Well, I'm blue.
Okay, I fully admit it. Mistakes were made. But I think I figured out how to rectify it. That ain't all dried yet. It's reason it looks splotchy. We're just going to do an all black interior. We're going to do carpet. We're going to do the panels. We're going to do everything in black now. Okay, so here's the deal. It wasn't my wife didn't like the blue. She actually thought it was a neat looking color, and we actually considered going through with the project of doing the interior and just do it all in that blue since it didn't match the blue that was already there. But after discussing it, the plans with that car is to paint that car a two-tone. And it's going to be a turquoise and white two-tone like the cars of the 50s. It was that color blue interior and turquoise on the outside. Things was going to get kind of weird. You know what I'm saying? Kind of weird. Our new to us intake manifold has arrived. And I know somebody's going to say, why are we swapping the intake? I don't know because I have a sickness and I start working on stuff and I start swapping parts. I don't know. This one's probably going to be better. Ooh, we got gifts in a box. The Galaxy. Do like my model cars or my Hot Wheels. Or decal. Dirty Money Hot Rods. We got this intake from our buddy over at Dirty Money Hot Rods. This is used, but new to us. And it is a wine intake. Of course, you know it's used, but it's never been ported or anything like that. It's in good shape. This is going to replace the intake that is currently on the wagon. Now, on a Windsor motor, it's really not that bad to swap the intake. We're not pulling the distributor out. The distributor staying in. We're going to take the carburetor off, air cleaner off, unhook our water temperature sensor, and I'm going to have to drain the coolant, which this radiator does not have a drain plug on it, so that's going to be fun. But once I do that, then it's just take the bolts out, pop it off at a little bit of angle, and it'll slide right off from under the distributor there with no issue. I have not decided yet, but with this one, I may also ditch the 1-inch spacer. I run a 1-inch spacer under this one for two reasons. One, that gasket issue that I was talking about of trying to seal everything off, and two, this intake is such a low rise intake that it kind of needed it to really give any kind of performance advantage. But the wind is much taller of an intake. Okay, we got the water drained out of it, all except what's in the thermostat housing right there. At the end of the day, a little coolant get in there. I'm not terribly concerned because I'm going to change the oil on it anyway. So it's not the end of the world. It's just something you try to prevent if you can. The biggest thing here is just try to get this off with the least amount of dumpage of crap into the valley here. You know, out of practice I am with these Windsor motors. And it's not going to come off if that hose is attached. And there we go. One off. I'm just saying. So now that I pull these gaskets off, clean the silicone off on the China reels. I'll go ahead and dab. A few drips of water did drop in there. I'll go ahead and dab those out. And put the new gaskets in. And get the new intake ready to drop on there. Okay, here we go. She's clean. Old gaskets is off. The valley pan's all cleaned out. Wiped down real good. I'm going to tell you something that most people probably won't tell you or won't admit. I don't care how good you are. You're the best in the world. Something will drip down or fall down into that valley pan, or into that valley in the engine. It's going to happen. Something is going to fall right in there. It's given. It's going to happen. Don't panic. If it's something, you know, that could damage a motor seriously, work your way in there to fish it out. Take your time. Water dribbles in there. A piece of old gasket material or something dribble in there. Try to get the old gasket material out. Take your towel and try to sob up the water a little bit or whatever. But at the end of the day, once you get the intake back on it and everything, your next step should be changing the oil. Go ahead and just change the oil. Admit that sometimes things happen and just change the oil. All right. New intake is on. Valve covers is on. You got to finish buttoning this stuff up. And for those that, you know, are interested, we have decided we are now doing a black interior. The seats have been dyed black. All the interior will go black in this car. I'm sure that after seeing the blue, most people are not shocked that we didn't keep it. Although, came close. I'm not going to lie. We came close to keeping the blue. But my wife wants the outside of the car two-tone turquoise and white. And that blue probably would not have played well with the turquoise on the outside. You know what I'm saying? So now we'll get to mark more stuff off the list. We have put the new gaskets on. We have swapped the intake. We took care of the seats. Yeah, the list is going, you know, in the right direction, like thinner, smaller. Now we can start doing details. Details. Oh, like getting all parts and pieces back on it. Details. So good. So good. Oh, so good. Again, the actual air filter in there, nailed down. Yeah, that's looking good. Nice, fresh painted under the hood. Some fresh bling. Nice aluminum intake. Once I finish getting everything cleaned up around here with new wires and all on it, man, it's looking good. That's spot on. I'm gonna say this: one small minor setback with the seats. Yes, I dyed them blue because I thought it might match the interior, and it didn't, and that was a debacle. But here's the thing, guys: don't be scared to make mistakes. It happens. Just adapt and overcome. You know what I'm saying? Just sometimes things don't go the way you would expect them to. All you can do is just back up and punt. Try again. We are really gaining ground on this car, and this car is looking so good, and I know it's going to run phenomenal. So, man, I'm ready to get out there and put some miles on it. We got to take care of a couple of more things first. We got to address that tank. Parts are supposed to be in tomorrow for the tank. It's just the parts are just dragging out getting here. So the tank parts are supposed to be in tomorrow. I can button that up. I've got the engine about buttoned up. I got to do some plug wires and stuff. I've about got the engine buttoned up, and we're going to be ready to cruise around in this thing a little bit. Another day and more parts here. We got our fuel sending unit, and for our gas tank. Now, this is going to be a little different. We're going to go down a wormhole here and see if we can make all this work out. I think we can. But again, when you're doing stuff kind of different, when you're doing stuff that's not really designed for something, you got to think outside the box a hair. And that's what we're going to have to do with this. This tank is not actually made for this car, we got to get kind of creative. Oh, had this piece of plywood in there, using it to check clearances. All fine. Oh, let's drag the tank out of here. Spin it around. Now let's see if that sending unit will actually fit this tank. We're going to make this sending unit work as long as the hole's the right size, which I'm hoping it is. But we are going to have to make a couple modifications to it right off the bat. But let's check first and see if it fits in here. Ooh. No, way too tall. Nope, no, I was hitting on something. Never mind. Scratch that. Not too tall. For some reason, though, it is. We are hitting on something. Let me get a light and see what's holding it. Something's off. Yeah, let's uncover this hole right here. See if we can see in here. And see what's causing it to. Let's see here. Okay. It looks like it's the piece that holds, which we don't need that piece. Huh. Let's see if I can see better through the filler neck. Oh yeah, that's exactly what it is too. Which doesn't make any sense because it's supposed to be made for this tank. This is made for this tank, but for some reason, unbeknownst to me, at this moment, this little basket right here is, it's like there's not enough angle on it. This corner right here is just hitting the bottom of the tank. Now that's okay, because this is actually made for an electric fuel pump to go right here, and we're not using an electric fuel pump. So with that being said, we should be able to ditch that with no problem. Okay, so now it fits in there. And one of the other things we have to do is the bottom of the tank is pretty much in line, or is in line with the bottom of this. Now we do some measuring. We're going to have to tweak this arm up just a little bit so empty registers empty. You know what I'm saying? That's no big deal. These things can be bent very easily. That way they work the full sweep like they're supposed to. Otherwise, the way it sits right now, we're going to be showing like 1/8 of a tank and be bone dry. So we don't want to do that. So you got to gently tweak these and hold it in two places when you do it. Here and like wherever you want to bend it, say here, so you're not putting pressure up here. And before anybody says anything, I used to work for Bosch. Probably 30 years ago, I worked for Bosch. 23 years ago, I worked for Bosch. And every new pump that come in, one of the things we done, we had a station on the line where we bent fuel level cinders. There was a machine there that would measure it, and it would tell us how much to bend it, and we'd bend it every time. So don't think of this as some kind of weird thing. It's just part of the process of doing these. Is sometimes you have to tweak them just a little bit. Okay, we got this thing bent just perfect now. I'm going to see if I can get the camera in here so you can see what I'm looking at on the inside of the tank. Let's see if we can get you in here. All right, you see how that fuel sending unit, this is a terrible angle, but I'm trying to use a camera. Looks like it's laid on the bottom, but it's actually not. If I wiggle it a little bit, it just touches the bottom, but it's also not in there straight. Right there straight. So it just touches the bottom. That's exactly what you want. Actually, I may want to bring that one up just a little bit, just because that filter won't be all the way quite on the bottom. So I'm going to bring it up just a hair, and we're going to call it good. All right, so this is ready to go in now, and I've used two pieces of tape. This piece of tape tells me that this is the one we're using to suck fuel with. This is now a return line. Also marked which one is for my fuel sending unit because we removed the other two wires, our hot and ground for a fuel pump. So now we know hook this to the fuel sending unit and it should work. So now we just need to set this in here, put our locking ring on, and this part will be done. Perfect. So I know there's going to be some questions about why such a massive fuel tank. Why that fuel tank? Well, here's the nuts and bolts of it. One, we had to change fuel tank anyway. I explained to you there's a hole in the factory tank, and with that tank having a pinhole in it, leaking, it's causing fuel delivery issues, air and the fuel, it just causes issues. And honestly, I've never been able to fill the tank up above half a tank to keep that from being a problem. So with this tank, that takes care of that problem. But also, this wagon generally gets around 20 miles to the gallon. The few times I've driven it on long trips, I can count on about 20 to 21 miles per gallon. That's a pretty big, that's pretty good fuel mileage, especially for something that's 60 years old. But with this 302 5-speed and the 300 rear gear, it has no choice but get fuel mileage, right? It's a dog out of the hole, but fuel mileage just got for days. So if we're going to use this thing to take on road trips and road trip this thing and do drives across the country kind of thing in this thing, if I put, it's either a 28 or a 30 gallon, they made two different tanks. I think it's 28 and 35 gallons or something like that. But let's split the difference and call that one a 30 gallon just for the sake of math. If that's a 30 gallon tank, we get 20 miles a gallon. That means 600 miles I can go between fuel stops. I'm telling you right now, I can't sit in the car for 600 miles without getting out and stretching my legs. So that means fuel will never be an issue on a road trip. That means we have plenty of fuel to feed us longer than we're ever going to actually want to sit in a car and ride. You know what I mean? Okay. Plug wire making time. We have our nice plug wire kit here from Elderbrock. This is their Ultra Spark 500 Max Fire. 8.5 millimeter. They'll come with 2 bags of goodies. One bag is for like an OEM style cap that has the female ends on the cap, and these are male and go down inside of them. We will not be using them because we have an MSD ignition, which has the male cap. So we need these ends right here. So we got our plug wires. Got our fancy plug wire making tool here that the only time I've actually used it was to play with it after a fan sent it to us. Grateful for that. Yeah, we're going to start making plug wires. Now, low key, I actually enjoy making plug wires. It's kind of therapeutic. You just kind of zone out and start making them. But it is repetitive, so I'm not going to make you watch the entire process of all 8 wires. So what I'll do is we'll go through the process of how I'll make one wire. And then we'll cut away, come back when this side's done so you can see my kind of grand idea I have. And then another one once it's all done, probably, so you don't have to sit there and just watch me do plug wire to plug wire to plug wire. So let's get into it. So the way I will do this is technically the end that goes on the plug, but I'll stick it on my cap where I want it, kind of route it the way I want it, come around and get the idea of where I want it down here. This will give me the length, and I know I want it, and I'll give myself a little extra. I know I want it about that long. So I'll give myself a little extra. And I'm going to cut it right there. Is where I'm going to cut it. So I kind of mark it loosely with my finger. So after giving myself a little extra, marking it with my finger right here. Come in here with these fancy handy dandy tools. So we use our tool to cut it where we want it. And I also found out you can buy different size jaws for this thing. I think that's pretty neat. Now my arch nemesis, Ziploc bags. Grab one of these ends right here. So, wire in there. Then put this in. Oh, and man, look at that crimp. Is that not like the perfect crimp? Man. This right here, this tool has saved me so much time. This is one of those tools I always thought, I'm not spending money on a tool, especially a tool, when I can do something with a pair of pliers. And I've always made these with pliers. But after owning one of these tools now, I don't even know how I managed to do it all those years. The tool is such a game changer. I wish I'd have bought one years ago. I didn't even buy those. Like I said, a fan sent them to me, and this has been one of the best tools. I can't even describe how great it is to own one of those tools. Anyway, the next step: grab one of our little boots out, and some of this grease, which shall not be named, mainly because I can't spit that word out to save my life. Dielectric, you know this shit. You know what I'm saying. At least what I'm trying to say. Take a little dab of it. That's more than a dab. Okay. So we'll take a big dab of it. And put it right on the end of this. You know, you got to lube it up a little bit. And then I'll just take the tip. I'll just stick the tip in. Just to clean what's on the tip off. Inside the boot there. Line it up the way you want it. And once you get her started, it just slips right in there. Just like that. And then I just take a little rag and wipe the excess off right there. One thing I didn't think about saying as I was doing it, depending on how fancy you want to look, I set it so my plug wire, when it's in the loom, the name of the wire is facing out. So you see the Max Fire by Elderbrock. Now we'll stick it on here and see how we did. Fits, clicks right in. Goes right here. Fits right on, nowhere near the header. And then my plan is to make them so they're all together right here and go down the valve cover this way so it's not over the top of the valve cover. Again, I know it doesn't matter, but sometimes the little things just dress one up enough to where it makes you feel like you've done something good. You know what I mean? So I'm going to get to making the rest of these and not bore you with all the details. I am a kind of a hoarder, so I'll save a handful of these in case we have an issue on the road. But I'm going to start making all these, and when I get them done, I'll show you this side. Okay, as advertised, here's this side done. Pretty much. I make zip tie wire looms to keep them separated, and I am going to put a bracket right there on that bolt so that these will run just like that, right up against the valve cover, tucked up tight against it. I do my zip tie wire looms. I done one there, there, and then I've got a small one there and one right there separating two wires. By doing this, if I ever want to change plugs or anything, I don't have to worry about being in the right firing order. I can just pop all the plug wires off, change them, and put them back on because they're zip tied. in the correct order they go on the engine. They can't get mixed up at all, especially since their zip side's so close to the ends on each one as they go. They can't get mixed up. And I go all the way up to the cap. So honestly, if you pulled all 4 of these wires off and laid them on the ground, when you pick them back up, even though they don't go in exact order on the cap, you can look at it and go, okay, this is one longer one. It has to go here. This one has to go here. This one has to go here. They'll be laying like this, so you know what order they have to go in. Keeps you from ever mixing up your firing order by accident. I would do zip tie wire looms on everything. And as we start cleaning this engine bay up, you can see this mess versus this, how much cleaner this is going to be. I mean, if you just blocked off this half over here, this engine is so much cleaner than this half over here right now. And we're getting there, one little step at a time. And before anybody says anything, yes, I'm aware that none of this actually does anything for running or driving. Well, I mean, you know, tune-up, of course, makes it better. But as far as changing the intake, the dress-up kit, cleaning the engine bay up, painting under the hood, none of this stuff actually makes the car run any better or do anything any different than what it has always done. But, you know, that might as well thing. Well, in this case, what happened was I had the air filter. The air filter didn't match the valve covers. So might as well get a set of valve covers. Well, if I'm pulling that off and dressing that up, that old intake looked kind of rough being painted and all. Might as well just go ahead and put a new intake on it, you know. And then now the plug wires look dingy and all astray, but the rest of the engine looks good. Might as well put new plug wires on them and get them in a nice order, tied up in a nice little bundle. You know, might as well, while we're in here, clean up the wiring a little bit, because there's some wiring that's kind of strode about in it. You just kind of start plummeting down that might as. And that thing is a deep, deep well. Eventually, we will find the bottom of it. I hope it is before I have this thing taken off the frame and start, you know, doing a frame off restoration. Might as well, while we're here, not doing that. The idea here is just to make a cruiser that we can drive around in and enjoy. All right, so of course I still need to clean a few things up, but focus on the plug wire side of things. We got a nice loom around the front. Over here, I couldn't quite go all the way around the front because the alternator and stuff, but they're right at the front and they can be squeezed right there so the valve cover can come off. And of course, I loomed my coil wire in with it over here. I always mount my coils on the fender wells and not on the engines. Less heat on them. I don't know that it actually matters, but there's less heat that way. The one in the Galaxy is actually mounted all the way back in the back corner of the underneath the fender over here, where air blows up on it, keeps the coil cool. This one was on the engine originally, and I just moved it over here out of the way. Cut my own wires anyway, so I just made a wire long enough to fit it over here. Now we've got to clean up the fuel line. Get the fuel line in here. Right now it's just laid over the front of the motor. Get all that cleaned up and buttoned up. I did put a new vacuum hose on it. Just all the little things while I'm in here. Back to the list. We have now put in plugs, wires. We've done everything. Yeah, that's what we worked on today so far. Our list is getting smaller. It still looks like a lot, but the list is getting smaller. I am missing a couple of small little pieces that I'm going to have to round up to button this engine bay up, and then we're done. The fitting that screws into the fuel pump down there, I don't have one. It was on my old fuel pump. I traded it in for a core. Totally slipped my mind to take it off, so I got to get that fitting. I need the little ball that goes on the side of the carburetor so you can snap the throttle cable on. I think those two pieces is all I'm missing to have this under here buttoned up and fill it back up with coolant. The upper radiator hose is laying right there. I got to put it back on. But we are right here at under here being done. which will only really leave buttoning up the fuel tank, which is sitting back there, but buttoning up the fuel tank, bleed the brakes, and then we're ready to test drive it. All right, so everything is a lot better off now. We have the fuel line ran, a nice 3/8 stainless line. It just stops right there right now because I don't have the fitting for that. I'm gonna put a filter right there and two little pieces of, just two little short pieces of rubber. Put a filter in right there. Wires is in, valve covers on, hoses is in, belts, everything is here now. So as soon as I actually plumb the fuel system, the engine should fire up and run. I will clean all of this up a little more, especially this area right in here. I don't know why it kind of looks rough to me, but I will clean all this up a little bit more and make it a little more presentable under here. But that is looking 10 times better, 100 times better with a painted hood and all than it was when we started. So I think if we have to, raise the hood for anything at a cruise in or a show, there's actually something to look at, not just a greasy old small block or Windsor based motor under here. It's actually a clean, fresh looking engine. Back to the sometimes you got to make stuff work. I need the little ball that goes on the carburetor, the side of the carburetor, so that the cable can snap on. It's just the end on the cable is kind of like a little claw, and there's a ball over it, and that just snaps over it. No one locally has that. I can order it online, be a couple days to get here. This project was supposed to be a 1 day in and out, and it's drug on now for, I think I'm on 10 or 12 days on this thing. So I'm tired of ordering stuff. So I'm going to attempt to take a little machine screw. I don't know if it's a work or not. I'm going to chuck it up in a drill and kind of round the head off of this thing into a little ball. If that works and it snaps in there, then I'll just cut this off at the right length, put a nut on it, crank it down, and we'll put that on there. And at least then it can drive around while the correct one is on the way. That's the idea. Now, I don't know if this is going to work, but I do know we are going to try it. Okay, so let's chuck this thing up in here. Metal file. Okay, so now that we have this rounded off into a little ball right there, I put a couple of nuts on it. I'm going to chuck it back up in the drill. Saw blade. Chuck it up in the drill right there and just, okay, so it's easier to see what I'm doing. We're going to take this air cleaner back off for about the 75th thousandth time. Oh. Figure out exactly where we're going to put this, which I think I already know. It's going to go in this hole right here. Almost a perfect fit. Now, if I can manipulate my finger in behind that, hold that up, and get this started all at the same time, if I can. That started. Tighten that down. Okay, here we are. We now turned a machine screw into the little ball that fits on there. So we're good. When I say we're going to build stuff, it ain't just talk around here. We're actually building stuff or making stuff or whatever the case may be. And in this case, you want to get on the road, sometimes you got to be able to MacGyver your way out of a situation, especially with these older cars. So that means the only thing left I need is the fitting for the fuel pump. And unfortunately, I don't even have anything around here that I can make work on that. I've tried what little bit of brake line fittings I got laid around. I've tried everything I've got just to see if I could get something that would fit in there. And then I could make a barb or a tube or something on the end of it. Even if I just had like a brake line fitting that I could screw in there and it fit, I could take a piece of that 3/8 line, put it in there, solder it, or brass solder it or whatever, screw it in there, and it gives me a barb to put a piece of hose on. But I don't have anything here. So that I am going to have to actually go to town and get. That is the last piece to the puzzle under the hood before we can fire this thing up. Well, guys, I hate to do it to you again, but there's just going to have to be a third part to it. This video is getting extremely long, and I need to wrap it up or I'm going to miss my upload date that I normally upload on Tuesdays. And Tuesdays and Fridays is my normal upload days. And I'm going to miss my day if I don't edit this video and get it put out. I had some videos stored back after the last video, and I quickly put those out. But this waiting on parts killed me. Now, as you see, we made some parts. There's a couple parts I need that I just have to wait on them. I need that fitting for that fuel pump. I don't have anything here to make the fitting with. And I need that valve that goes in the top of the fuel tank back there. It's actually supposed to be in Monday, but then trying to plumb the entire fuel system and getting all that done and edit the video and all that's just a little much for a one-man show. So let's look at some of the things we've gotten done to the car so far. Of course, we've got our wheels and tires. I mean, my wife wanted them. She's the one that picked them out. That's what she liked. But honestly, the more I see them on here, the more I like them. We got our chrome dress-up kit. We changed the intake. We made plug wires. Made us a hard line down through there. Bracket for the throttle cable. We got the throttle cable little ball made. We've painted the underside of the hood. So that now it looks really nice under there. Of course, wheels. Our front seats, we did manage to save ourselves on those, and they look really nice now. Look like a really nice leather seat. We also did the back as well. The back seat, the back of the back seat's really nice. That side over there, there's a big chunk of the fabric missing. There's also a piece right here missing. So probably what's going to happen is the back looks pretty nice. I'll probably just take one of those Mexican blankets or something and throw it over the bottom right here for right now and call that good enough so it'll get us on a road trip. We have our tank set in place. We have our fuel sending unit in and everything. That's the little valve we're waiting on. I'm also going to come in here and paint all this with that same, that's actually flat black on those seats and all. Even though they have kind of a sheen to them, all this is going to be painted with that same paint. So the interior will be fully blacked out interior. I think it will work well with the paint scheme that she wants to go with. We're also going to be making our own door panels in an upcoming video. I think it's all going to be really nice when it's done. We are so close. I mean, this thing would crank up and run and drive now if we had our fuel system plumbed, which we don't. Without a doubt, on the next one, we'll be driving this thing. There's no question about it because we only have like 2 little things left to do to be able to drive this car. Honestly and truly, if I could have thought ahead enough to have some of these other parts on order earlier, I would have, but some of these little parts, I just figured, honestly, the local parts store would have them. So it kind of threw me for a loop, especially something like the fuel sending unit. I just thought they'd have something like that. Instead, it wasn't even something they could get quickly. It took them 2 days to even get one in. So with that being said, in the next video, we will definitely be driving this thing around. Because again, we only have like 2 pieces of the puzzle to be able to drive it. So we are very close. I appreciate you guys for hanging in there with us. A lot of this stuff I could have got by without doing, but again, we're going to be living in this thing basically for like 2 weeks, driving across country. And although some of these things didn't have to be done, I might as well do them because honestly, once we get home with this thing, I'm probably not going to want to fool with it for a little while, which means I need it to be reliable, run and drive, do everything it needs to do, so I don't have to raise the hood on it and tinker with it for a while. It can just be something my wife can hop in, crank up, drive out and back to work if she wants to, or whatever the case may be. So, yeah, we've got a little ways to go, but we're so close to being there. I so greatly appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for subscribing, sharing, liking, and commenting on the videos. I don't think a lot of people are getting notified when these videos are coming out. I think there's a little issue there with YouTube. So please remember, you can hit that little bell, and when you hit that bell, it will notify you that we have a new upload. Also, don't forget, if you're interested, we have a members only kind of thing. I usually, right now, what a lot of that is, it's 99 cents a month to join if you want to. It's not like a big deal. Usually what that is right now is early access to a lot of the videos. A lot of things that you guys see, they were up for the the members, or whatever they call them, the people that joined the channel. They were up for them a few days or maybe even a week beforehand. Right now, that's a lot of what it is. There's really no different content. It's just there early, and honestly, it helps pay for some of the stuff that we're doing here. If not, I understand. Times are hard for everybody. But please remember to share these videos and comment on them. That helps drive them as much as anything. God bless you guys. I hope the Lord blesses you more today than he did yesterday. To him be all the glory. And just be kind to somebody today. Everybody needs it. You know what I'm saying? So God bless you, and we'll see you on the next one, where we will be driving this car. The next time you see this car, we will be driving this car. God bless y'all.
I'd say it's a nut job.